There exists a tunnel that connects another dimension to our world. The gate. Gates lead to dungeons filled with monsters. Those who hunt monsters are called hunters. People with extraordinary abilities. Our protagonist's name is Sung Jin-woo. He is a hunter, however only an E-rank hunter, the weakest of hunters. Those who know Sung Jin-woo know him as the world's weakest hunter. He only risks his life in dungeons because he wants to pay for his mother's medical bills. What a good son. Sung Jin-woo thinks to himself that other than his slightly abnormal strength and regeneration, it would be embarrassing to call himself a hunter. We'll see how that goes in the future. Sung Jin-woo makes his way to a construction site where the dungeon gate is opening. Two men chat about how they're back hunting because one of their wives is pregnant with their second son. Hope nothing bad happens to the husband. When Sung Jin-woo arrives to the construction site, everyone is welcoming him nicely, seeing as they've hunted together before and understand his predicament. The husband comments that Sung Jin-woo must be a powerful hunter if everyone here knows him. However, the old man corrects that he's actually the world's weakest hunter, but he tries his very best. Another bit of bad luck for Sung Jin-woo. The coffee van is out of coffee. Feels bad, man. Shouts a red-haired woman named Ju-hee, who comes over immediately worried about Sung Jin-woo. Sung Jin-woo explains that there was no healer class in his last dungeon, so he couldn't get healed. Miss Ju-hee feels bad for Sung Jin-woo, but just then, the party leader, Mr. Song, gathers everyone up to announce the gate's arrival. Everyone is happy that Mr. Song Cheol is the party leader as he is the strongest of the lot. Sung Jin-woo enters the gate exclaiming that he'll try his best. Go Sung Jin-woo. A while into the dungeon exploration, Sung Jin-woo is injured, which surprises no one. Miss Ju-hee is busy healing him while the other stronger hunters finish off the monsters and joke to each other about how easy this D-rank dungeon is so far. Miss Ju-hee tries to convince our protagonist to quit being a hunter, and because Sung Jin-woo doesn't want to explain personal matters with his mother to her, he jokes that he's a hunter for fun. You can make a lot of money in dungeons. Monsters carry magical cores inside them. Even a C-rank magical core is worth thousands. Sung Jin-woo is far too weak to take on C-rank monsters, however, so he's left with E-rank magical cores which aren't worth much, but he keeps going. Suddenly, the party finds another entrance into a deeper room. Mr. Song explains that this dungeon is a double lair, which is a dungeon within a dungeon. The party knows that usually they would have to contact the guild to come and take out the boss and close the gate. However, Mr. Song convinces everyone that if they kill the boss, they can close the gate and keep the rewards. They take a vote, 8:8. Sung Jin-woo is the last vote. Thinking about his mother in hospital and his little sister whom he wants to send to college, he votes yes. 9:8. During the 40-minute walk to the boss room, Miss Ju-hee scolds Sung Jin-woo for voting yes, because he could have died earlier and he keeps putting himself in danger. But Miss Ju-hee, he's doing this for a courageous cause. Sung apologizes to Miss Ju-hee, and in order to accept the apology, she tells Sung to take her out for some food later. Go Sung Jin-woo. Just then, the party reaches the boss room and enters. This is a huge room with giant stone statues lining the wall, with another sitting in a throne at the end of the room with a creepy stare. The party finds a runic stone text which reads, first, worship the Lord, second, praise the Lord, third, prove your faith. Those who do not follow these commandments will never return alive. The doors slammed shut and Miss Ju-hee swears she saw the eyes of the big statue in the throne move. Creepy. One of the party members is too spooked at this point and tries to leave through the doors. Mr. Song shouts to not touch the door, however it's too late. The statues next to the door swing down and slaughter the leaving man, beheading him in front of everyone, all the while the stone statue in the throne stares directly at them. The party looks like they're trapped. Time for some backstory. Being the weakest hunter, Sung Jin-woo has faced near-death experiences many times. Never being able to afford stronger equipment due to him paying his mother's medical bills and sending money to his sister, he goes into dungeons unarmed and nearly dies a lot. However, due to all these experiences, Sung Jin-woo doesn't freeze up when faced with danger. Using this experience of his, he senses an attack coming from the towering giant in the throne and shouts for the whole party to duck while grabbing Miss Ju-hee. The statue shoots lasers from its eyes, sweeping across the room, blowing chunks of rock and stone everywhere before stopping. Many party members were wiped out instantly, with a few attributing their survival to Sung Jin-woo. Mr. Song rallies the remaining party members into a formation and prepares to attack. Sung Jin-woo sees that Mr. Song had lost his arm in the attack. In their brief respite, they patch up the injured while Mr. Song explains that he had been in a rank B dungeon before. However, the monsters there can't hold a candle to these statues and thinks this might be an S rank room. Sung Jin-woo thinks about the commandments from earlier and determines that the giant statue in the throne must be the Lord. A bit more backstory: gates have only been around for 10 years. When they appeared, a bunch of things changed, one of which was the creation of hunters. Some individuals became hunters with the power to fight monsters within the gates and close them. Back to the present. With morale shattered, the party tries to come up with a plan to flee the dungeon. One silly party member decides to stand up and rush toward the exit with his speed, promptly getting disintegrated by the Lord, leaving only his little feet. The monsters could easily kill the party, that is proven already, but why don't they? Sung thinks there must be a pattern. Reading the commandments of Karthanon again, Sung realizes they are still alive because everyone is on their knees, thereby worshipping the Lord. To test his theory, Sung slowly stands up, and just as the eyes of the Lord stare at him does he get back down again, confirming that they have to be below a certain height. Good job, Sung. With that, everyone bows to the Lord, wondering if they will survive this ordeal. The Lord's eyes change to a sickly glowing red and sports a horrifying toothy grin. The party seems to have moved on to the next phase of this boss fight. Everyone slowly stands up, thinking that was all they needed to do. How foolish. The room shakes like an earthquake as the Lord stands from his throne, towering above everyone else at an astonishing height. Mr. Song asks Sung Jin-woo if he has any other plans. They desperately try to think as the Lord approaches. Sung Jin-woo has the idea from the second verse to try to praise the Lord somehow, and a party member volunteers, saying he sings in the church choir and praising and singing could be the same thing. As the Lord approaches, Sung recognizes that the churchman's words are praising the wrong God, just as the Lord's enormous foot comes down, crushing the churchman. With that, the party's morale breaks and everyone starts running for their lives, one by one getting crushed beneath the Lord's feet. The other smaller statues join in as one cuts the husband character in half along with other party members, trying to get to the edge of the arena, tearing limbs off and killing the party. Sung Jin-woo realizes that only the statues with weapons are attacking and shouts for everyone to hide under the statues with instruments instead. Once they do that, the statues start playing their music, seemingly soothing the Lord. However, there's one instrument not playing because not enough people survived. Seeing this, Sung leaves Miss Ju-hee at a safe statue and runs towards another one. Such a courageous man. Sung Jin-woo gets hit with a brutal attack but just manages to make it. Miss Ju-hee runs over to heal Sung Jin-woo and sees that both his legs have been cut off. He might die. Miss Ju-hee is trying her best to keep Sung alive. There are only 6 party members left alive. Another earthquake. This time the Lord has risen a stone dial in the center of the room, an altar. Sung Jin-woo in his weary state realizes that the final trial is to prove your faith, meaning to sacrifice someone. Some of the party want to sacrifice Mr. Song for leading them down here, and Mr. Song agrees. A flame appears next to the altar when Mr. Song gets close. Sung Jin-woo understands what this means and asks to be helped to the altar. When getting there, more flames spawn. Sung Jin-woo is worried that if they don't solve this puzzle and close the gate will open completely and the monsters within will be allowed to come into our world. The trial only starts if everyone is present, so everyone gets close to the altar. With everyone there, the door opens and the armed statues approach the party slowly. The party quickly notices that the statues stop moving if someone is looking at them, so everyone looks at different ones. One woman decides to run for the exit, successfully escaping. Sung Jin-woo realizes that this is a test of faith and they only need to survive within the altar until all the fires go out. Another person flees for the exit as Sung Jinwoo pleads for everyone to stay, otherwise the last few people will die. The old man tells Sung Jinwoo that he can't be certain of his theory and that he never expected anything from him. However, he admits the people who are alive right now are alive because Sung Jinwoo solved the riddles. The old man cries and apologizes to Sung as he flees to the exit, dooming the remaining 3 people. Without enough people to look at all the statues, they are doomed. Mr. Sung tells Miss Juhee to get Sung Jinwoo and leave, but Miss Juhee is so scared and mana exhausted she falls to the ground and can't control her legs. Our brave protagonist, Sung Jinwoo, tells Mr. Song to get Miss Juhee and leave instead. Giving Miss Juhee his collected E-rank monster core, he says he'll buy her dinner with that. Miss Juhee doesn't want to leave, to Mr. Song knocks her out and takes her as Sung Jinwoo instructed. Promising to take care of here, they leave and Sung Jinwoo is left alone at the altar by himself. Sung takes a stand, metaphorically with a sword, before getting impaled into the altar by a statue, bleeding all over it. As he fades away, he says that he doesn't want to die, pleading that if he just had one more chance. Just as the final strike was coming down on him, a message box from a video game pops up and time is frozen. The box reads, "You have completed all the necessary requirements of the secret quest, Courage of the Weak. You have earned the right to become a player. Will you accept?" Finally, without any options left, Sung Jinwoo accepts as he shines and lets out a tremendous light enveloping everything in the room before Sung Jinwoo wakes up in a hospital room, alive and thinking it was all a dream.